All right, guys, welcome back into the Run-In Podcast. We've got our first ever repeat guest. He was our first guest and now our first repeat guest. It is Mike Hermann from Retro Studios from the Retro Mania Wrestling game. Mike, I know you're busy as heck trying to get this game out to every console, but thanks for joining us here, man. And what's the latest? What can you tell us about what's going on with this?
No, hey Tom, thanks for having me on. Yeah, we are busy trying to get out on the last three platforms for now, at least. Switch, PS4, and IA Arcade. We're currently out on Xbox. We went live this week. We went live with Steam earlier in the month, or actually the end of February. We went live with Steam, and we're just, we're navigating kind of unfamiliar waters on my part, going through certification process. And for those of you who don't know what that is, basically there's quality control that goes into every release, every video game that the consoles release. And, we missed some stuff going in that Nintendo and Sony have pointed out. We got it all on Xbox, and each of the systems, and Steam as well, each of the systems have their own certification process. And most of this stuff we've come into why we would be passed on Xbox and not the other two yet, like the stuff we are struggling with or struggled with on Switch had to do with Joy-Cons, right? So it was specific to Nintendo. The stuff on Sony specific to the DualShock controller. So that was kind of why we were able to release on Xbox already. We actually tested throughout the process with Xbox controllers connected to our PCs.
Gotcha.
So that made that process a little bit easier for us. But we're almost there. Like you said, I am probably number one person who wants us out in everybody's hands for sure. The one good thing about launching Steam first in hindsight really was the Xbox release had next to no issues. A couple here and there, but pretty much, the Steam, we had a little bump in the road with what we had our default difficulty level set at. Because our testers just got too good at the game, myself being included. So we bumped that down, but still gave you a difficulty slider, which we always had in there to make sure we could ramp it up if you needed it. But that was nice to go through. And then so for Xbox, we didn't have that issue. And now our Steam reviews are super positive, very positive on the Steam score. Which is, above, I think we're sitting at 86, 87% positive reviews. And we're at awesome. A 4.7 out of 5 stars on Xbox reviews. So that extra time definitely paid off. And we think it's going to carry through to the Switch, PS4, and the IA Arcade version of the game.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I love how transparent you are on Instagram and your social media, YouTube, Facebook, everything. It's almost like you're not afraid to just tell it how it is. And I think that goes a long way. As a consumer goes, like it's awesome that, I mean, everybody knows about the issues with Cyberpunk, and that came out and kind of probably prematurely right. With all the issues they were having. I would rather, I mean, I think we talked about this the last time we talked, is like I would rather have the game be ready to go, not have to be like, oh, it's playable, but I'm waiting for a patch to come out or something like that. So I applaud you, man, for being out there and putting yourself out there and making sure it's good before you guys, put it out into the wild.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that was, we thought it was ready, and now we're working with the consoles, and they're telling you you're almost there, but you're not quite there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's easier. I thought it would be easier to explain delays than versus having people really putting pressure on us because it's not even playable. And the only people I really right now feel bad are the people who pre-ordered on Switch, right? Because they've been with us now, for over a year, some of them. And I really wanted it out on Switch. Not that I don't love all the consoles and all the platforms, but those people have been super patient with us. I've gotten a ton of great emails, responses to when we put out, what's going on. You get some angry ones, of course, where, people don't like the way it went. I don't like the way it went either.
Right.
But for the most part, I couldn't be happier with, and I think the transparency has really helped us kind of bridge that gap until we launch. And the other thing that helps a little bit, it may hurt and help, we're getting reviewed so well on Steam and Xbox. So it's like they definitely have something to look forward to.
Right.
But at the same token, I think that may piss people even more off that they have to wait for it. You know what I mean?
I want it now.
Right.
What do you think's been the biggest non-code, development issue that you guys, or challenge, I should say, that you guys have encountered besides the testing process and getting it actually out? What's been the biggest challenge for you guys?
It's now we're just keeping up with all of the emails and requirements. So, and I'll speak to one issue we have on Xbox. That is an issue. I know that wasn't directly the question, but it's kind of
That's all right.
relates to everything, where one of the achievements isn't unlocking, right? So, but now we got to go to Twitter, we got to go to Instagram, the Steam user groups, because some people will show up there. I've been looking for the achievement message boards where there's a lot of achievement hunters out there, and trying to get the message out to that we're not ignoring them. We are aware of the issue, and it's just it's a kind of a blessing and a curse nowadays, is there's so many avenues, and everyone kind of has their own social media preference.
Right.
So it's trying to keep everyone informed of everything that's going on all of these different platforms, these social media platforms, message forums, and then there's Discord forums. Luckily, some people, who are a little closer to it, kind of closer fans to the project, know and are helping us spread the word. Like they're super responsive. Like on our Steam message forums, we respond to everything we can. And I don't want to come off as ignoring people, so we probably overcompensate. Like I'm answering as many things as I can, just to let people know like their investment is worth it. We're gonna, even, and it, like you said, not even necessarily bugs or anything like that, because we've been pretty good about that. We've had a pretty, I think a lot of developers would be very happy with this type of launch. Anytime I see any one little thing, it bothers me, but I think overall it's gone great. So now it's just listening to feedback. So one of the features we just added on Steam, the Steam build, just because Steam, you can basically issue a patch at your will. You don't have to go through an additional certification process. So we did our own testing internally, and there's like a new feature called a pin release, where you can, if you have somebody in like a bridging suplex or something, a way for the player to release it. And that was a really sought after feature by the Steam users. And we were able to add that really quickly, get it out to them. And now the consoles will benefit from that. They'll get their first patch will include that as well. So it's just stuff like that, and trying to gather all those features and trying to figure out what is the right direction to kind of steer this ship now.
Sure.
Because we have so many feature requests, and it's like, one, we have to prioritize them and get a roadmap out. But it's funny, some issues are so like kind of not controversial, but controversial, where 50% of the people would love a change and the other 50% don't want it to change.
Right. You can't please everybody, right?
Right. So, as much as we can, we're doing toggle switches in the settings, to turn things on and off. So we can try to cater that a little bit, but I think just making sure everyone's updated through all the social media. That was my long-winded answer of just keeping everybody informed, just because there's so many avenues people get information nowadays.
Sure. And like I said, man, you've been so good with the information and just being straight with, how things are going. Will the game work on PS5 when it comes out? Is it reverse compatible or whatever they call it, the tech term? What about
what is it? Now you need to throw me for the stump.
Is it reverse compatible? Is that
that's not the term.
No?
It's something else, and I'm drawing a complete blank. Backwards compatible, I think.
Okay, there it is.
Yeah. So it's running great on Xbox Series X right now, and we expect the same thing for the PS5 as well.
Awesome. Because I got rid of I got a PS5 around Christmas time and got rid of my PS4. So that was one of my big questions, was, am I going to be able to play this, or am I going to have to steal my kid's Switch?
No, you should be good. You should be good.
And as far as the iArcade goes, now I've never heard of iArcade until you guys got on this. Are these like the arcade one-ups? How do these match up to those?
Yeah, so they're pretty different. So I don't know. I'm not sure if we show video. You're gonna do it on YouTube. So behind me is an iArcade.
Yep.
Over that shoulder.
Yep.
So yeah, it is a smaller form factor arcade machine. That's kind of a similarity to Arcade 1-Up. The big difference is it's Wi-Fi connected, and you can get additional games for it from their store. So you can purchase additional games. It comes, I think, with 12 preloaded. The Retro Mania Wrestling one will come with Retro Mania Wrestling, obviously. And you can go to their store and buy, they're adding games every week, and they're trying to do more and more licensing deals. They just got, I think Dead Cells was added a week or two ago.
Okay.
So they're not just doing old school and classic arcades. They're doing new arcade games as well. So Retro Mania is one of the models they have. They're basically, or one of the kind of skins, if you want to call it that, but it's not really a skin. It's more baked in than that. But
Sure.
one of the flavors, they have a Dragon's Lair one, a Double Dragon one, and then their classic IR arcade one as well.
Nice. Yeah, they're good looking machines. I have a couple of the arcade one ups. I think we talked about this before.
Yeah.
And it's nice to be able to get like a smaller arcade, I mentioned that I have the old WrestleFest, and it's it's huge, and it's just sitting in my garage. I have nowhere to put it in the house. But like I have Golden Tee.
I got a spot for it.
Yeah, come and get it. I'm in Connecticut. You can come and get it. Funny story about that real quick. As you being like a video game guy, one of my friends helped me buy that. And I don't even know if I told this story on the pod, but it was in it's in a gauntlet cabinet. And one of my friends is a big arcade guy. And randomly, like right around Christmas time, he shoots me a message. He goes, "Hey, somebody wants to buy your joysticks for WrestleFest because they're original Atari ones." I'm like, how do you even remember that? He goes, "She's gonna give you $400 and buy you a new set of joysticks." I'm like, sold, man. That pays for the game. Like, sold, take it, whatever. But that is just wild to me that kind of stuff goes for like that kind of money and stuff. But yeah, I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do with the WrestleFest. It's showing in the garage right now, but like I said, it's just so big. I don't really have any spots for it, but
well, it's all of us clinging to our youth
that's right.
I want this stuff, right?
That's right. It's funny that my 10-year-old has seen like me and him watched the Twitch of the Major Brothers playing it, and he was saying like he doesn't know a ton of the characters in it, but he was saying that it looks fun. And he wants to try it. So
yeah, absolutely. And that's the cool thing. Like my kids actually aren't even wrestling fans. Not that they dislike it. They but they don't really know anything about it. Old school, new school, anything. They know like The Rock, John Cena, and Stone Cold, maybe The Undertaker. You know what I mean? So, but they've had a blast playing it, and obviously I have their friends beta testing for me as well throughout the whole process. So, you don't even need to know the characters to have fun. It's just a fun game to pick up and play.
Yeah, and all the characters look fun.
Right, exactly.
It's definitely. We're looking forward to getting it. I think I'm going to get it for PlayStation for myself, and then I'll get it for Switch for him. But we saw some since we last talked. We saw Chris Bay for downloadable content, Mr. Hughes and James Storm. I love the Mr. Hughes edition.
Yeah,
with the urn. And everything. Is there anything else coming that you can let us in on? Is there any console specific downloadable content that'll be coming, or?
We probably won't. The only thing I would say could be console specific. If Nintendo ever let us use the Pro Wrestling IP to get Starman in, like we're asking, we're trying to ask.
That'd be awesome.
So if any from Nintendo hears this and is interested, but that would probably have to be a Switch exclusive. But I think there's no other real wrestling things tied to specific consoles.
Okay.
So I know Soul Calibur. I remember they did like a Darth Vader versus Yoda something a long time, depending on what console. This is years and years ago, but we'll probably keep everything kind of the same on all systems. Like I said, that pro wrestling thing would probably be the exception, but
yeah.
But we have a lot of plans, but we still need to just get through launch. So
gotcha.
What we're doing right now is we're compiling a list so far of the Xbox and the Steam players, and then we'll add the Switch, PS4, and iArcade people to the list. We're just compiling a list of things people want to see, and then we're going to prioritize that, create a roadmap, and then start attacking it. Because I had a huge laundry list when I started this, and we did not finish it. So there's a lot of stuff I still want to add to it, and I'm sure the stuff people are suggesting are probably already on my list, but it'll help me prioritize what we should do next.
Sure. Couple more questions here, and then what has been your favorite character get for the game, or favorite characters to work with as far as the game goes?
Oh, that's tough. That's a tough one, because I think I selected great people because I've had zero issues with anybody. I've gotten to know Stevie Richards quite a bit over the last couple months, so over a year now.
Yep.
And a great guy who I consider a friend now. Like we talk regularly.
That's awesome.
So, and it's funny, I met him, 25 years ago now at this point, maybe more. Because he was a manager at a video game store in the mall that I grew up at.
Okay.
When he was working at ECW.
Wow.
This is before he was in WWE or anything. So I barely, like, I met him once. I don't think he remembered me from then, but he remembered working at the store, obviously.
Mhm.
But really down to earth person. Tommy Dreamer's been awesome, helping me navigate kind of through the wacky world of pro wrestling.
Sure.
Matt Cardona, who I've talked to more recently, is just guy. It's full of energy.
Yeah.
Just I don't know if he sleeps. You know what I mean? He's always upbeat, which is awesome. I
Yep.
love everything. But really I can't. Those are three right now, but I could go through everybody. It
Sure.
was really a shame that Animal died
Yeah.
last year, because I was talking to him, and he was really excited to help promote the game. And I traded emails with him probably 3 weeks before he passed.
Ooh.
And we were starting to plan stuff out, which really stinks.
Mhm. That's tough. Yeah.
But he was great. But like Nikita was awesome when I got to meet him for the first time, and I was still scared that he would clothesline me like he did David Crockett. But yeah, everybody's been great. Everybody's been great.
That's awesome. There's like that's what I liked about like this game and like having you on again. I know we're getting close to it being launched to everything, but I'm like everything's so positive with the game. Like you don't hear any, like you're this small company trying to put this game out there for the 35 to 45 something year olds or whatever. And yeah, just like with the being transparent, the stories that you have, just everything is so positive with the whole game. It makes it very easy to support it.
Yeah, that's definitely what we're going for. I mean, I rather, look, I made mistakes. I'll point them out so people don't have to. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Sure. Yep.
That's kind of the whole thing I've gone through. It's funny. It's almost like it reminded me of, there was a game a movie Harrison Ford was in Patriot Games, where I think it was Patriot Games, where the president knew somebody who got in trouble, and Harrison Ford recommended the president say, don't say you didn't know him. Say him, oh, you were really good friends with him. You know what I mean? Like, be honest and just
Right.
tell it.
Yep.
And it's just like, you're not gonna dodge it. I'll own it. You know what
Right.
I mean? This is the first time we've developed the game as a company. Well, this is the first time I've developed the game as a company, I should say. Most of the people working with me have, but yeah, there are definitely plenty of mistakes made, but I think the kind of the proof is in the pudding, where, if you look at our Steam reviews, you look at our Xbox reviews, we really did a good job, and we're cleaning up anything we missed. We're listening, and we're trying to keep moving forward.
All right. Awesome. One last real question here. And then of course we got to give you a fun question too. What's your personal goal for the future development goals, either of this game or down the road? Now that you've done this one game, are you like, oh man, screw this, is like way more work than I thought it was going to be? Or are you like, yeah, man, maybe I could do, is there a game that you have like a vision for already? Or are the blinders just on and you're just focused on this at the moment?
I mean, definitely I'm super focused on this right now. But with that said, I feel there were definitely, the last 2 months have been stressful. Trying to get it out, trying to get through certification. And I think it's probably a lot of that stress was just due to me not knowing the process.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like I've learned so much through this. It would be a waste not to do another game.
Sure.
Just because there was so much I learned going through it. I would have a much better idea of how to set release date estimates, and how long it was going to take me to get through, certification, for example, and just so many lessons learned. I definitely have other ideas I would love to do.
Mm-hmm.
But I like a beat 'em up or something. I love the new Turtles, the game that they're coming out with.
Yep.
I don't know if you've seen that. The new it's kind of like a 16-bit.
Oh no, I haven't seen that.
Yeah, it's
no.
a 16-bit Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game.
Oh no, I'm gonna have to go down a wormhole after this.
Yeah, it looks awesome. They just announced, I think, last week or the week before. But I would love to do something in that vein for a property that I would like to do. Maybe something original, but there's some licensed stuff I have my eye on that's never been done before. I don't know if there's a huge audience for it, but I know I would like doing it. So who knows?
All right. I lied. I had one other question. Any plan for like a limited run of the physical edition? I know you guys did the cases for the Switch, but is there any plan to do like a physical run for PlayStation or Xbox or anything like that?
Yep. Yes. So actually, we already have an agreement signed with Limited Run Games.
Okay.
So we are actually meeting, surprisingly, you bring it up, next week to start planning the physical release. So we're several months off on that still.
Yeah.
You know, obviously what they like to do is once you get it on a physical media, no more updates can be made to it. So they like to get it as close to a final version of the game as they can before they do that. And we still have, you know, not necessarily bug fixes, but a lot of stuff we would like to get in there. Like our at a minimum, our first 3 new DLC characters. If not, maybe some more stuff as well.
Sure. Sounds good. The wrestling fans love their physical
Yep.
media. They want to obviously look behind me. You see, they
Yeah,
want to display
absolutely.
stuff. So, man, I think that's all I had for the game. Thanks for doing this. I do want to hit you with one of our fun questions that we did this the last time you were on. We try to do it with everybody that we have on. It's a would you rather. It's from our friends over at poddex.com. If you're doing a podcast, they got all kinds of decks of cards to get your conversation started. So, Mike, would you rather put ketchup or ranch dressing on everything you eat?
Ketchup.
Really?
Not
Okay.
even a question.
Okay. I was thinking about it, man. Like right before I pulled this card out, I just randomly pulled it, and I was like, man, but like ketchup doesn't go on everything in my mind. Like I feel like
right, but I think ranch dressing goes on less.
Yeah, maybe. I was like thinking about like bacon. I was like, ketchup on bacon. I don't know. But then now that you're saying that, like you could have a burger, like a bacon cheeseburger, and there's ketchup on that.
Yeah.
But I was like, man,
I think there's more food that I would probably I eat that I would put ketchup on more than ranch dressing.
All right, fair enough, man. That was a really fast answer too.
Well, I didn't have to think. I just, you know, from a condiment standpoint, ketchup and mustard are my go-to. So,
yeah, I was gonna ask actually, do you just hate ranch because you said it so fast?
No, I don't. I don't hate ranch, but I do prefer blue cheese over ranch on like chicken wings.
Yes,
Yeah.
hell yes, I'm with you there. All right, man. Thank you so much. If you want, go ahead and tell everybody where they can get the game when it's finally out, and your social media, all that stuff, where they can find the updates and everything.
Yeah, so we're out right now on Xbox. So just go fire up your Xbox, go to the store, and you can get us. We're also on Steam right now. So if you're on a PC, you can go to the Steam store and get us there as well. And we'll be on the Switch store and the PS4 store and the iArcade app in the next coming weeks. For all information to the game, retromaniawrestling.com. We have Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook at RetroSoft Studio.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mike. Can't wait for the game.
Thanks for having me.